At the end of the day, it's an industry of people. You have to know people and you have to know about people, and getting that first interaction with somebody right can make or break a certain opportunity.
AT1.
For Audio Technica and AT1 Radio, this is At Some Time Somewhere. I'm Jacob Derwin. Today I'm joined by Lisa Chiodo. Her EP, Slightly Sour, and new singles are available wherever you stream your music. Find her gigging around New York City. Lisa, welcome to the show.
Hi, how are you?
Thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Slightly Sour's been out for a little bit now.
It has.
How does it feel to finally have this EP that you've been working on for a hot minute out in the world?
It feels really good. It feels
Yeah?
really good. It was definitely a project that I didn't realize it was going to be a project. It was just kind of little bits and bobs, and then
It accumulated.
it accumulated. It really did. It really did. The oldest song was 2019. It was my freshman year.
So it's like a 5-year project, essentially. Holy
yeah.
cow.
Yeah.
Were you in Berklee?
Yes.
2019 when you were starting
Yeah.
out? I mean, I imagine when you go to Berklee,
Yeah.
you're kind of constantly writing or mixing or trying a new sound here
This
and there.
is true. I think
Yeah.
it was just like I had new toys to play with. So that
New
did
toys,
it.
she says, referring to the power station and
Right.
the most state-of-the-art studios in the world. No, these are
Right,
new toys
right.
to play with. Is there anything you fell in love with while studying music that you hadn't even touched on before? Because I know you've played trumpet forever. I know you've been singing forever. But was there
Yeah.
a brand new thing that suddenly kind of shocked your system?
I think studio maintenance, honestly.
Maintenance?
Fixing gear.
Fixing gear.
Fixing gear. That was one of my student jobs. I used to book the studios, and then I got poached by the maintenance team, and I would fix all of their gear, all the headphones and microphones and such.
Were you rewiring things? Tell me about
Pretty
that.
much. It was
Oh
really
my
cool.
gosh.
It was definitely a learning on the job type experience,
Yeah.
but it was 2 years of fixing headphones and microphones and going into the studios and pulling out all of the outboard gear and bringing it in to fix, and it was really, really cool. It was a lot of fun.
What do you think artists could learn from being part of the maintenance team?
The two bigger things, one is to not be afraid of it, but the second is how to look after what you have, because a lot of the time there are things that I didn't know, even I don't know, temperature wise, where it's okay, maybe you shouldn't leave your gear in a really, really, really hot room, or vice versa, or quick temperature changes. But it was just fun. It was fun to have that side of the
Have
of
you always been a
music.
super hands-on person?
Yeah.
You like getting into the guts of things, learning how they
Yeah.
work?
Yeah.
Tell me about that. How far back does that go?
I don't know. I feel like I've been that way. Anytime that I try something new, I like to do as much of it as possible to figure out if I actually like it or not.
Yeah.
So I guess booking the studios was the beginning of that, where I'm oh cool, I get to book all these spaces and know what's in what space. And then the natural progression of that was getting into the studios and looking at all the gear and then, learning how to fix all of that, which was really, really cool.
Yeah.
Which made me realize I love gear, but I don't want to be a gearhead. And that's totally chill. But I know that because I was in it for a really long time, and I can appreciate gear, but somebody else out there knows gear way more than I do, and that's totally
But you're not
cool.
afraid to get in there.
Definitely not afraid to get in there.
Cool.
Yeah, push some buttons.
Your family has been in the audio gear business for a real long time too.
Yeah, they have. Yeah.
So did you grow up around mics, turntables, headphones,
Yep.
cables?
Sure did. I think even one of one of the apartments that we had lived in while one of our houses was being renovated, we lived above our the family store, which was pro audio. So I would wake up in a room surrounded by outboard gear.
Wake up in a cold sweat,
No,
surrounded by mixers.
Surrounded by EQs and compress,
Yeah.
literally just walls of it, and I'm oh, okay, very cool.
Racks on racks.
Yep, racks on racks, which is really, really cool, but not typical, which I didn't realize until I moved to Boston.
Where in Australia are you from again? Victoria?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Melbourne. Okay, yeah. Melbourne.
Yeah, well done. That was good.
I'll never do it again.
That was good.
It's never happening again. Don't worry. What was the live music scene like for you growing up in Melbourne?
It was good. I mean, I definitely was tapping into it more in my later years of high school. I did a lot of busking when I was younger. I mean,
Okay.
little kids, people love that. People love little kids singing. I have 2 siblings, so we used to do that all together.
Okay.
And then
Chiodo family singers?
yeah, and
Yeah.
then my twin was the first to bow out of that. Didn't
You have
want
a
to.
twin?
I do.
You've never
Yeah.
talked about your twin.
Yeah, well, I have one. She exists. She lives in Australia.
She's a real person.
She's a real person. She's not musical. We grew up playing trumpet together, actually.
Oh.
And then the second that
this sounds like a real variety act.
I
gotta
know.
Say, twin playing trumpet players.
Well, the second that trumpet became like an option to not do, if that makes sense, like my parents were like, hey, you don't have to do it. She was like, okay, I'm out. I'm good.
It's like getting a bar mitzvah and dipping. Yeah,
sure. Yeah. So
that's a joke for me. I
was gonna say I don't know anything about that. I don't know anything about that, but
for you were like kind of hooked on the music thing.
Big time.
Yeah. But you used to play together.
We used to play together. We used to play in like brass bands and stage bands and stuff in school, and yeah. She's in medicine now, though. She's a nurse.
You're both putting your brains to good use.
Yeah, just completely different
ways.
Different ways. Yeah, that's it.
So you were busking as a kid in Melbourne.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been to Melbourne and it's a beautiful city. I can't. But it's not like a giant metropolitan thing. Like it's still a city, but it's
yes
not
and no. Like the city part of it. I used to do like bars. More so in my last year of high school, when I was like 18.
Yeah.
And that was a lot of fun. And then a lot of restaurant gigs. Like I had a couple of every Saturday at this one restaurant and then every other Sunday at this other restaurant. And it was very much catered to whatever the place was. I had I was doing a lot of jazz actually in my last year of high school.
I was going to say that's very bold of these restaurants that I imagine are fairly nice to want to feature live music. To tap into the jazz stylings of an 18-year-old.
Right. They just kind of were like, okay.
So were you like full-on Prodigy at that point? Or was it, or were they just like, we'll take what we can get?
I think, you know what, you'll have to ask them. I mean, a lot of there was this one place that I used to gig at. I did a couple gigs there. And it was a movie cinema. But they had like a little jazz club in there. It was really cool. It's called Lido. And that was really, really fun. And I did a couple of jazz gigs there. And it was very, like, when you imagine like little jazz club, like that's what it looked like. 100%, but also giving theater. It's kind of like rad. A movie cinema. It was really, really cool.
What did you learn about performing live? Playing in loud restaurants and over chatter? Because at the end of the day, like, I'm sure they appreciate the music. I doubt they came for the music.
I think people did eventually start coming for the music, which was cool. To begin with, of course, no.
Okay.
But I never did a gig where I was told to turn down, which is crazy. I do. It depends on the gig. Actually, depends.
New Yorkers are very clear about what they want.
Yeah, New Yorkers are very clear. I mean, I'm sitting down, so you can't tell, but I'm quite short. So
if we cut to wide right now and we can see your feet dangling off the chair.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know if they're in the frame or not.
So
I'm not sure.
I think maybe in high school, like it was like, oh, cute, like younger girl, and it's like I'm 18, but I'm not. It's fine. You know, they don't know. So maybe there was a bit of sympathy there, but who knows? Who knows?
The novelty of it all.
Right.
But like but if they were coming for the music at the end, it sounds like you learned how to grab the attention of people who maybe weren't looking to give their attention.
Yeah, I think it's a big part of what I've found success in is reading different audiences and what they kind of want.
Yeah.
Some audiences are more, wanting that interaction, and some definitely don't want anything to do with it, and they just want to eat their meal and have their little chit chat and have something in the background, which is totally fine too. So, but reading audiences is super.
You learn
important.
how to read a room. You do it enough times. And you're kind of, it's like riding a bike. You know, like you forget how to do it for a second, and then you're like, wait, okay. Do you have a best bit of stage banter that you've remembered for all this time? My favorite one, I used to play Rockwood Music Hall a lot, which I miss dearly.
Yeah.
And one of my last times playing there, I would play a song and people really liked it, and then afterwards I would explain that it was inspired by playing Jewish folk songs around a campfire in Massachusetts at a summer camp.
Right.
And one night, one of the girls sitting in the front row freaked out because she went to the sister camp down the road.
Oh my goodness.
And that's like the best thing that ever could have possibly happened, is I'm talking about the most niche particular thing.
The specific thing.
Because it's kind of funny out of context, being like, here's where this comes from. And people are like, well, that's crazy. And this one girl being like, oh God, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Oh my God. I don't know. I think, well, now that I'm gigging mostly with my EP, each song, so none of the songs are related whatsoever. They're all about individual things that happened over the course of however long the project has been going on for. And so I love to tell the individual stories for each thing. I guess one of them is related, not really, but Sexy Sophia, one of the songs, and Kira, those two people exist and they were roommates. The songs don't have anything.
Roommates?
And they were roommates. They don't have anything to do with each other, the songs themselves. Yeah. But it's always funny. Like, I'll start with one of them usually the audience pick what song they want to listen to. I'll give them the names and they like tell me which one that sounds the best.
Okay. And they pick Sophia, obviously.
Yeah, pretty much every time I say Sexy Sophia and they're like, yeah, and I'll say Kira and it's silent.
You didn't give a qualifier to Kira.
Right, which
she
is
just gets a name.
Exactly. So, but it sets it up so nicely. Like I'll do Sexy Sophia and then they'll want to hear some trumpet and I'll go, well, Kira has some trumpet in it and that's Sexy Sophia's roommate, and everyone's like, "Oh my god! Like, what is that?"
Lore,
like, lore. Exactly.
Do you have like songwriters or artists who are that kind of lore centric, that are big kind of notes for you? Like, are you really into like, your Ben Folds or your Regina Spektors, who are like kind of creating characters and scenes?
I pull from specific experiences, but my musical inspirations more so aren't because of like what they're writing, it's how they're writing and how they make me feel when I listen to their music. So for example, like Lucky Day, love Lucky Day, because his music, every time I listen to anything,
beautiful
I
voice.
know that right, there's a beautiful voice. I know that what he's singing, like he experienced. I don't know what it is exactly that he experienced, but the way that it comes through, it's like, I believe you're either really good at pretending that you went through whatever you're writing about, which, hey, that's good enough for me, that's fine, or you actually went through something, which is cool. Victoria Monet is like that too, so they've got some good collabs as well.
We talk a lot about live performance.
Yeah.
Was there a show you went to when you were younger, or even as an adult performer, whatever, that maybe you kind of quote it unintentionally or subconsciously or not, where it's like that move, that shape that guy just threw, that little bit of thing, that little joke, something just kind of hit you and said like, I'm just gonna put that in my
little pocket.
Yeah.
That's such a good question.
Yeah.
I think the first thing that comes to mind is an artist called Nao. Nao. She's from the UK.
Okay.
She's Sony signed, and she was my first concert that I saw in the US. I was auditioning for Berklee, and she was in New York, so I went and saw her. And it was such an incredible, like, she made everybody in the audience, she made me feel like she was like my friend. She's like, I'm performing for you. Like, it was a very intimate.
What room?
But it wasn't intimate. It was Terminal 5.
That's a big room.
It's a big room.
But it felt personal.
I felt like, oh, like she knows that I'm here. Like, I don't know how she did it.
Wow.
So I guess subconsciously I do try to channel that when I perform. It's like, I want everybody that's here to feel that way, because it made me feel awesome.
Wow.
I loved it.
So one of the things that I see you doing a lot these days is popping up at Producer Mondays.
Oh, yeah.
For people who don't know what that is, would you explain what it is and what you've been doing there?
Absolutely. So Producer Mondays is a weekly gig at this place called Nublu, Nublu.
Jazz club in New York.
Yep. Except not your typical definition of jazz.
No.
At all. It's very, very cool. I'm in the house band there now, which is cool. So basically every Monday from the live music starts at 11 p.m. goes until 2 in the morning, and it's all improvised. We don't rehearse. We don't do any of that. We just show up and we play, and we kind of just listen to each other and feed off of each other. And they're all different genres, all different styles, all different tempos, and it's insane. It's one of my favorite things on the planet. I've been going there since I moved to New York, and very quickly became part of the community there. So
amazing. I mean, you're playing with some heavy hitters. It's not, I mean, like, people will pop in, like, Questlove will show up. You know what I mean? That kind of thing. But, like, the band, I mean, I've had Lex on the show.
Yep.
Incredible.
Fellow Aussie.
Leah Rich is a friend of ours.
Yeah.
Who's one of maybe the smartest, scariest vocalists I've ever met in my life.
Incredible.
I don't really get...
You should go check out. She just released some music.
She did,
Caspian,
that's right. What's the name of her project?
Caspian, I think.
Caspian,
yeah.
okay.
Check it out. It's really cool.
She's one of those singers where you're like, I don't know what math you're doing in your head to find where you're
That's
finding.
what it is, though. She's doing some crazy math in there, and she figures it out, and she does a great job.
Yeah.
But yeah, she's in the house band there. Lex, like you mentioned. Ray Angry runs it,
course,
and
Ray,
he's insane. Plays with Roots and all that fun stuff.
So when you're in a room like that, like, is that skill to learn how to listen and respond with your instrument to blend fully improvised multi-hour sets, like, is that Berklee? Is that an accumulation of education? Is that just playing live a lot? How do you grow that muscle?
For me, my ears are my best friend. I grew up doing most things by ear. I know how to read music, obviously went to college for it and did it in high school, but I prefer doing it by ear. I think it works better for me because I feel like I learn more. So going into a space where that's all there is to do, I felt very at home very, very quickly. I think too, growing up, especially in college, like I had a lot of doubt seeded into me where it was like, okay, like, yeah, we don't believe that you're a horn player. Like, you're probably just, like, making it up. Or, like, you know, the whole...
Yeah, I'm making trumpet sounds
right,
in my mouth.
Right. Or just, like, the stereotypical, like, women don't know how to do that properly. And, like, just a bunch of normal, which shouldn't be normal things.
Okay.
Where there were a lot of times where I did just sit and listen because I was afraid to play. And that in itself, although was bad for some reasons, was good in that I got to hear every single thing before playing a single thing. And it's like having a conversation with somebody. If you want to find something out, just let them talk. Let them talk, and they'll say exactly what they want to say, whether it's good or not. And so I had this kind of weird secondary education of I'm hearing every single person's ideas, and I know what my ideas are, but I'm not, you know, vocalizing them at all. And then I got to a point where I did start vocalizing them, and that was, you know, a completely different journey in itself, and one that doesn't stop, which is great. I think that's why too New Blue was such a cool, and Producer Mondays is such a cool thing for me, because for me there is zero ego involved. I'm not there to play solos. I'm not there to be the star of a section or the whole band at all. I'm there to add where it's necessary and take away where it's necessary. And I think that's why I was welcomed and invited to be a part of the house band and to lead the horn section, because I do leave the ego at the door, and it's a super important thing for a space like that. I mean, especially a space like that. I mean, the music industry, there's no real room for egos like that, but you know, it's important.
Yeah. It's an experience you're all building as a group.
Exactly. Yeah.
So we've already covered the fact that you're from Melbourne, you went to Boston with school, you made your way down to New York. A lot of people come to New York to pursue music.
This is true.
Don't they?
This is so true.
This is like a thing.
It is a thing.
No one's ever heard of this. It's kind of hard to believe.
It's very niche.
It's a very niche thing.
Very niche thing.
You're aware of that before you make that move.
Yeah.
You're aware that there's 10 million people who just stepped off of the train trying to get the exact same break you're trying to get, trying to make the same moves, meet the same people, find the same breaks.
Yeah.
What is the motivating factor behind moving to such an expensive new place so far from home to try and make that kind of thing happen, rather than, you know, the totally achievable thing of going back home to Australia and being a normal sized fish, a big fish in a smaller pond?
Sure.
You know, why aim so high?
The general consensus, to back it up a tiny bit, is like, okay, you graduate at least from the place like Berklee, and it's like, okay, LA, New York, Nashville, or you go home. I knew where I didn't want to go. I knew I didn't want to go to LA. I knew I didn't want to go to Nashville. I'd been to both places. I'd checked them out. Knew they weren't for me. Sure. I'd been to New York before, but never to live. And I knew that, well, I knew and I know music is what I want, and I know exactly what I want, and it's not going to change. So going home wasn't an option, because as much as there is absolutely nothing wrong with going home and, like you said, being a medium-sized fish or big fish in a small pond, that's totally cool. It's just not what I want. I would rather be, you know, the tiniest little fish in the biggest place and learn until I'm a bigger fish and continue to grow. Fish in ponds grow based on their surroundings. So if you're in the ocean,
my metaphor's been taken from.
I know. If you're in the ocean, you're gonna keep getting bigger. So for me, going home meant that I would stop learning so many things. And the opportunities just aren't as plentiful there. I mean, places like New Blue don't really exist back home that I knew of or know of now. There are opportunities that I've been given here. I mean, I've only been in New York. I've been less than a year. I moved in September of last year. So, and already the things that I have achieved, if I had told my younger self I was going to have achieved that by this point, there's no way that I would have. I would have said like, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
And the reason that it's hard is because you have to keep going if you want to make something of yourself. So if you don't love it, that becomes impossible. That's
kind of step one that people miss sometimes, is do you love it?
That's the thing, because I mean, it's easy to love something if you get it quickly.
It's easy to love something if it automatically makes you successful.
Right. So, you know,
gives you all the attention and money that you're looking for. Exactly.
So if the thing that you're looking for is attention and money, unfortunately, unless you're one of those lucky few that right place, right time, and you do get that very quickly, which again is so rare and so, it's not something of longevity. It's not going to last forever. So if that's what you're looking for, you're in the wrong industry and you're in the wrong space. Go find something else, or don't, because I'm here for the long haul. So if you want to stop by and hang out for a bit, that's totally fine.
What are some other places outside of music that that have taught you something about performing?
Having like people skills. So meeting new people and figuring out how to interact with those people based on their interaction style has helped me like humongously in the industry, because at the end of the day, it's an industry of people. Yeah. You have to know people and you have to know about people, and getting that first interaction with somebody right can make or break a certain opportunity. It's not going to make or break your whole life in one industry, but if you rub someone the wrong way the first time that you meet them, they're probably not going to want to call you for anything, which is totally fine, but it's kind of scary to think about. So I think growing up, I moved around a lot. I went to 7 different schools growing up. We moved around, and that set me up really nicely for the life that I'm living now.
Socially adapting.
Yeah, it was get comfortable and get comfortable quick.
Yeah.
Because otherwise you suffer. You can pick to suffer and be miserable, and that's totally fine. But
you keep saying that. You keep saying that'll be totally fine.
That's totally fine. Because realistically, everything's going to be totally fine. Everything works out in the end. And if it hasn't worked out, it's not the end, and that's...
If it hasn't worked out, it's not the end.
That's it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Take that home with you. I have a lightning round for you.
Okay, I'm nervous.
It's maybe the dumbest lightning round I've done on the show so far, and I've recorded so many episodes of this show.
Okay, I'm excited and honored for the silliest.
This has the potential to be absolutely preposterous.
Okay, I'm nervous.
So just roll with me on this.
Okay.
Lisa, growing up in Australia and Victoria, you rode horses. Yeah. I know this because I dug around on Facebook for long enough, but there are other ways to learn this, I suppose. There aren't nearly enough horse girls in our music scene.
Oh my goodness.
And
so true.
So what I would like to do for today's lightning round is I want to name some mostly clothing items, some items you might find in a horseback rider's closet.
Okay.
And I want you to tell me how likely it is to appear on a future Lisa Chiodo album cover.
Okay. I love it.
Or on a show, in an outfit for a live show, costumes. Okay. Is it in the pop fashion? Okay. All right. You ready for this?
I'm ready.
We're starting with chaps.
For me, probably not. I'm going to be so real. There's like a 10% chance you'll catch me in chaps in the next 10 years. But
in the next decade.
In the next, like, perhaps. One of my really dear friends, Adia Clarkley, she's all up. She's about that. She was at the release event here for my EP release, and if she was sitting here, I think she actually has more than one pair in her closet. But for me,
ready to break them out.
Yeah, for me, not so likely.
Oh my god. We'll back it up a little bit. How about some cowboy boots?
I have a pair of cowboy boots, and I have worn them to a gig. They're black. They've got red snake skin going up them. They're pretty cool. I thrifted them in a Miami market some time ago.
Okay. So, do we need spurs?
I could get a pair.
You can get
I could get behind some spurs. I don't have any, but I could get behind it.
What about a solid pair of like leather riding gloves?
Gloves? Sure.
Yeah?
Sure. Yeah? I actually think I have a pair of riding gloves in my closet.
Like right now?
I'm pretty sure.
Can you play trumpet with those, or are they too tight?
Yeah, you can play trumpet with those.
How about a helmet? How about a horseback rider helmet?
Maybe I start a trend. But it would have to go with like the crop, like the riding crop.
You need the full crop and helmet.
You need the crop as well.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it wouldn't make sense.
That's a really specific.
But
at that point, we're embracing.
At that point, we are embracing it, and I think I'd have to have a song that made sense for that to go on stage.
In a helmet.
And a riding
crop and like holding a halter.
I could do it.
Yeah.
I think I could do it, and I think people would probably get behind it. They'd be like, "Wow, that's like really forward thinking, forward fashion." Love it. I could start a trend. I could always just put it on being Australian too, and then no one can say anything.
Put it on being Australian?
Yeah, I love doing that.
This is just what Australians wear.
Yeah, because then like, what are you gonna say? You don't know. You can't fault me for it. I'll be like, yeah, Australian.
You say that like it's like some like island nation that no one's ever heard of.
Well, this is the thing though. I'll give you a tiny little story to to make my point, in college, me and there were 2 other Australians that all started at the same time. We didn't know each other before we started. Yeah. But we had told everybody in our year that in Australia, we only get Wi-Fi on Wednesdays. We call it Wi-Fi Wednesdays. And I can't tell you how many people... Oh my God, really?
Oh my gosh.
Really? What do you do on Monday and Tuesday and But like, we just don't have Wi-Fi. They're like, wow, what's it like? So like, internet's like crack for you right now, huh? Like every day. I'm like, yeah. It's like, we're just not... Like, people just believe it so quickly. So, yeah, if I was like, yeah, this is like the normal... Everyone walks around with helmets and riding crops in Australia. I don't know what you guys are talking about. They just believe it.
How else are we supposed to kill the snakes?
Right. I mean,
that are perpetually in our boots.
Right. I mean, what am I supposed to do when swooping season comes and the crows are attacked? I gotta have
swooping season is unbelievable.
Have you not heard of swooping season?
I've not heard of swooping season.
Oh my goodness. Okay, this is a real thing. I'm not making this up. So swooping
You've
season.
You've lost the whole faith of the audience at this point.
Swooping season.
It's been a month in Australia. I've never heard of swooping season.
That actually surprises me.
Yeah.
Okay, what month did you spend in Australia?
December to January.
That makes sense then.
It wasn't swooping season.
It wasn't swooping season. Swooping season is in the spring.
Okay.
And it's typically magpies and... Well, it's typically magpies, which is a type of bird. It's like a crow, but they're white and black. It's like the cow of the bird family.
Quite a voice on those guys.
Yeah, they love to sing. They love to sing. And it's most birds, but these are the ones that really get people. They protect their young and their nests in the springtime. So if you get too close to the tree, they'll swoop at you. Wow. Like over and over and over again. Yeah. They'll dive bomb you. So what is typically... This is actually so funny because you know what? People do wear helmets in Australia in swooping season when they go on walks because they don't want to get attacked by magpies. So they'll put zip ties on their helmets to stick up so that the birds don't swoop them, or they'll stick fake eyeballs, like googly eyes, on the back of their helmets to deter the magpie from swooping on you and attacking you.
And is this happening in metropolitan areas?
This is happening wherever there is a magpie and a nest. So like a tree, yep. If there's a tree and there's a nest in it, you're at risk. You're at risk.
I heard about the cassowaries. I heard about the big guys that will just come beat your ass. Like, I've heard about them. I didn't hear about the singing birds that tried to claw at your head.
They do. They're very protective. And they remember your face, too. So if you mess with a bird and its nest... It's like, I think, hornets like that, too? Or wasps like that? They remember faces?
I don't know about what.
I don't know. Maybe crows, yeah. But magpies are like that. They'll remember you, so you can't mess with a magpie.
I think maybe a total of like a month and a half, 2 months total in Australia. And like, the joke is that everything wants to kill you. But like, I've seen people get spider bites that required surgery. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not completely wrong.
It's not completely wrong, but I will say, I've never been bitten or stung or anything by anything where that has been necessary.
You had all the proper precautions. You were wearing the helmet with the zip tie on your head.
This is true.
You know?
This is so true. Oh my God.
Can you tell the people where they can find you if you wish to be found?
Yes, I do wish to be found. I don't know which one of these to look at, but I do wish to be found.
Middle.
This one?
Middle camera, yeah. Number 2.
Why am I struggling? Oh, right here.
Yeah.
I do wish to be found. Most of my everything I put on Instagram. I'm not really on TikTok. I have one, but I don't really use it. Yeah. My Instagram is my name, so it's Lisa, Lasa, for my middle initial, and my last name, Chiodo, Chiodo. Everything goes on there. And then streaming platforms, Lisa Chiodo, all of the fun places where you find your music, you can find my music, which hopefully will then become your music after this episode. My middle initial is Victoria.
It's actually Victoria?
It's Victoria, which is where I grew up.
You grew up?
Which wasn't intentional, I don't think.
It just happened.
Just happened that way.
Right.
That's my,
Own it. And you can find us on Instagram at AT1Radio. That's AT_ONE_radio. And of course, you can learn more about Audio-Technica and all of our fabulous headphones, microphones, and other products at audiotechnica.com. That's audio-technica.com. Thank you so much for doing this, Lisa.
Thank you so much for having me.
I'm so glad you were here.
AT1